Welcome to the Board Game Network. This is James. I'm going to be explaining how to play this game called Grimslingers Duels. It's a two-player game, and it plays in 10 to 20 minutes, and it's put out by Greenbrier Games. Not much to set up. It's a card game. You're going to take one of your characters. There's 4 different characters. You're going to take one of these health tracker cards. You're going to put your character card on top of it, and then when you take damage, you're going to move it up, and that's going to show how much health you have left. You're going to take one of these cards. There's 4 of those also, and it's got on one side it says reload or purge, and on the other side is surge. And then you've got your energy tracker here, and you do exactly the same thing with it, where you put, so you can see 10 on both of these. To start with, when you discard cards, they're going to go there vertically. When you have deactivated cards, they're going to go there horizontally. And deactivated cards only happen for when you're playing cards out, and it'll say deactivate your opponent's cards or something, so they have to lose some out of their hand, and they go horizontal. So the way this game is played is you have 6 different elements. You've got lightning, wind, fire, water, earth, and ice. And each of them has a weakness. So ice beats wind, fire beats ice. So it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors or something, but with 6 different elements instead of 3. Now, why did they not put different backs on there so you don't have to, when you're splitting these up, figure out that everybody got a set? I'm not really sure, because you want to make sure both people get a set of those. These cards here, target card, there's 26 of these things that are not referenced in the rules at all that I can find. So probably for Grimslingers or something else you just, I don't know, don't play with. Here's a deck of cards. It says get lucky or die trying, and they look just like a poker deck, but it's only the numbers 1 through 5 twice. So there's 10 cards in this deck, 1 through 5 twice. You're going to shuffle that, put it face down. So phase 1 is the standoff, and the standoff just lets you use either this side of this card or this side of this card, and it explains to you exactly what you have to do. The reload there says put 4 discarded spells back in your hand, and it costs 3 EP or 3 energy points. So once you've played a card and it's down in your discard, and you played another card and it's down in your discard, and you want to get those discarded cards back for 3 energy points, you move this up, so you go from like 7 to 10 or something, and you can draw back up to 4 cards out of your discard. The Purge lets you discard up to 2 cards out of your hand and gain 1 energy point for each one that you discard. So that allows you to get some back on this card. Energy points. A Surge says for this turn you get +1 to the NV, or the number of points of the effects, which the effects are down here, for the next spell you play. Also ignore the first card that causes you to exhaust if you are in a face-off. Exhaust is when you go over 11 when you're drawing cards here. You're actually playing like blackjack. Instead of going to 21, you're going to 11. But essentially it's blackjack. So if you go over, then this allows you to ignore whatever that first card is that puts you over the 11. And it gives you a +1 to the number. So if your target takes 3 damage, then if you had played the Surge prior to that, then you would take 4 damage. So that's the 3 different effects on that card, and that's phase 1. And you both do that simultaneously. And then you go into phase 2, which is the draw. And the draw is you select a card out of your hand, play it face down with both players are done. You're supposed to shout, draw! Yeah. I don't know why you need to shout draw. You just go, okay, I'm ready. And then you flip them up. And if one of them beats the other based on the weakness, then there's an automatic win. This is the weaker one gets discarded. And there's an automatic win. And then whatever the damage is happens to the other player. So they take damage. DMG stands for damage. And they take the appropriate amount of damage. And sometimes it affects also your energy points or their energy points. It tells you right there what it does. But most of the time, with there being 6 cards, neither one of them affects the other. And so if that's the case, then what you do is you shuffle these cards here and deal 1 to each player. And then whoever got the high card can choose to hold or draw another card. And remember, they're trying to get to 11, and the highest card in here is a 5. So this person might want to go again, and then this person gets a chance to go or to pass, hold or draw, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. And so if one person says they don't want to draw, the other person still can draw. Goes back and forth. If somebody gets 11, then they're going to actually do 1 point more damage than what their card says. If somebody goes over 11, then they take double damage. So going over 11 is not a good plan. And you can stop drawing and lose. That's perfectly fine, just because maybe you don't want to go over and take double damage. So you go back and forth and you say, well, okay, I quit. I'm not drawing anymore. So this person would have 7. This person has 5. And so this person would win. And this person takes the damage. And it says gain 1 EP. So there's already at 10. So otherwise this one would go up 1. That's your lightning. And so the lightning is now discarded. And then you go to the next phase. Phase 3 was the aftermath. That was dealing with that. So then you go back to phase 1, the standoff, and then you can use this card over again. The beginning of phase 3, the aftermath, you can put all of your deactivated cards, you can put them back in your hand. So essentially they stay out of play for 1 round. So let's see, let's find, like the wind here says, target takes 1 damage and must randomly deactivate 3 active cards. So if that one would win, then the other person would take 1 damage, and 3 random cards would be put out as deactivated. But that happens at the end of phase 3, and at the beginning of phase 3 on the next round, those go back into that person's hand. So they're out of play for 1 round. And so essentially you're just doing that until somebody gets to 0. And you can buy EP with HP. You can spend an HP to get an EP back if you want to. And that's going to happen on phase 1 on your standoff. But you go until somebody gets down to 0. And that is Grimslingers Duels. Very simple game. Make sure you tune into all of our videos at the Board Game Network, and especially get on Facebook so you can keep up to date on any kind of news and what videos are being published. So like us on Facebook, subscribe to the new YouTube channel, and we even have our videos up on Board Game Geek also, and we chime into the forums there occasionally and try to help answer questions if there's questions that we can answer, or post questions on the video, or any kind of comments that you have. If you like certain games or you don't like games, let us know.